Welcome to TerraSmart VERA. This is the dashboard, your control center for planning a job and monitoring the system in real time. We begin at the top of the screen. From left to right, you select the three things every job needs: the field you'll be working, the tractor you'll be driving, and the attachment, your implement, that will do the work. Once those are chosen, the black play button in the upper left corner switches the app into work mode. The map in the middle of the screen gives you a live bird's eye view of your position and your fields. You can see your registered fields here and change the selected field directly from the map. You can also see what is planted in each of your fields. On the right, you'll see three floating cards. The top card shows your GPS status, fixed quality, heading, and live coordinates. Below it, the weather card gives you the conditions that matter for spraying: temperature, humidity, and wind. And at the bottom, the map controls let you recenter and switch map layers. The navigation rail on the left is how you move between sections of the app. Overview is the screen you're looking at right now, with the live map and system status. Tractors is where you add and manage your tractor profiles. Attachments is where you configure and calibrate your sprayer. Fields is where you draw and edit field boundaries and area information. Works is your history of completed jobs and reports. And App Settings holds the general preferences, units, and account options. Let's head back to Overview and start a job. In this scene, we'll prepare everything our spray job needs: the field, the target rate, the nozzle, and the tank level, right from the dashboard. Tapping the black play button activates work mode. Notice the button has now turned into an X. That's your quick exit. Tap it at any time to back out of work mode and return to the dashboard. A new row of operation details has slid in just below the field, tractor, and attachment selectors at the top. Before we start the job, we'll set three things here. First, the field picker. You can pick a field you've saved previously, or if you haven't mapped the area yet, start without one. You can also tap the field picker right from this screen to add a new field. The biggest advantage of defining and saving your field boundaries is that in auto mode, spray control is managed by location. Spraying turns off automatically when you leave the field and resumes when you enter it again. For this walkthrough, we'll tap Start Without Field and move on. Next, target rates, the amount of liquid you want to apply per hectare. Pick the rate that matches your plan. Then, nozzle types. Tap the card and pick the nozzle currently installed on your boom. The list shows every nozzle your sprayer supports. Finally, tank level. Tap the card, enter how much liquid is in your tank right now in liters, and confirm. The system uses this to track your spray in real time. On the left, a new panel has opened. Resume work. If a previous spraying job was paused before it finished, you'll see it here and can pick up exactly where you left off. Since we have nothing in progress, this list is empty. We'll begin a fresh job, so we tap the black Start New Job button at the bottom of the panel. The app takes us straight into the simulation cockpit. And here we are, the simulation cockpit. This is where every spray job actually runs. The black play button in the upper left starts the session. The moment you tap it, the button turns green and becomes a pause. Tap it to pause, tap again to resume. It really is that simple. The red X directly below play is your exit. When you tap it, the Stop Session dialog appears and asks what you'd like to do with the session. Continue. Later saves your progress so you can come back and finish. Finish completely closes the job and writes the final report to your history. The top of the screen is your live data panel. From left to right, you'll find session duration, total area covered, ground speed, the current application rate per hectare, flow rate in liters per minute, line pressure, and your remaining tank level. If your tank level is off, say you refilled mid-job, tap the tank tile, type in the new value, and save. The telemetry updates immediately. The bottom of the screen holds every spray control you need. On the left, the main valve toggle opens and closes the master valve for the whole boom. Green means open, Red means closed. In the middle, pick your operating mode: manual, semi, or auto. We'll walk through each of them in the next few scenes. To the right of the mode selector, you'll see your target rate chips. Tap any chip to switch rates instantly. Need a value that isn't listed? Tap the gear icon on the far right. The Set Custom Rate dialog opens. Enter the rate you need and apply. The row of buttons along the very bottom are your section controls. Each button represents one section of the boom. Tap to open or close that section, useful when you want to spray only part of the width. On the right side of the screen, you'll find the camera controls. The green 3D button cycles the camera through the available views. Follow 3D, side view, front view, and top-down view. Tap it once to move to the next angle. The plus and minus buttons zoom in and out. You can also drag the map with your finger to look around the area the camera isn't currently showing. To snap the camera back and lock it onto the tractor, tap the center on vehicle pin between the zoom buttons. Below the camera controls sits the AB button. Tap it to start creating AB guidance lines, which help you drive perfectly straight passes across the field. Now let's look at how each operating mode behaves. Let's start with manual mode, the most hands-on way to run the system. First, we start the session with the play button. Make sure manual is selected in the mode row. Then we open the main valve to pressurize the boom. Now tap the section buttons one by one for the sections you want to spray. You'll hear the sprayer fire, and the area you just covered will appear in blue on the map. In manual mode, you control everything: the application rate, the main valve, and every section. The operator has full authority over the machine. Two buttons appear in the lower left of the screen, a plus and a minus. These are your live rate trim controls. Tap them to nudge the application rate up or down on the fly without ever leaving the cockpit. Next, let's try semi mode. Start the session. Make sure semi is selected, then open the main valve. Tap the sections you want to spray. Just like before, the sprayer fires and covered ground turns blue on the map. The difference in semi mode is this: the system takes over the application rate for you. It automatically adjusts flow to match your target rate as your speed changes. You still control the main valve and section buttons yourself. It's the perfect middle ground when you want rate precision without losing manual control of the boom. Finally, let's try auto mode, the most hands-off way to run the system. Start the session with the play button. Make sure auto is selected in the mode row, then open the main valve. And that's really all you need to do. Auto is the system's full assistant. In auto mode, the app manages the application rate, compensates for your ground speed, and opens and closes the individual sections for you as you drive. You just focus on steering. On top of that, auto uses the field boundary and your coverage map intelligently. As soon as you drive over ground that's already been sprayed, it automatically shuts the relevant sections off so you don't double spray. That saves chemical and protects your crop with no operator input required. Up to this point, we've been spraying without a field boundary. We simply tapped Start Without Field back on the dashboard. Now let's add a field to the system, so next time we can pick it from the field selector and let auto mode take full advantage of it. On the left side of the cockpit, right below the play and stop buttons, you'll see a dashed field icon. Tap it to open the field boundary recording panel. The idea is simple. You drive around the perimeter of the field with your tractor, and the app traces the boundary for you. The first thing to choose is which tip of your boom is tracing the boundary line, the left tip or the right tip. For this example, we'll tap right, so the system uses the right edge of our boom as the reference. Next, decide how boundary points get dropped. Turn on the auto toggle and the app drops boundary points for you automatically at regular intervals as long as you're moving. Turn auto off and a large set point button fills the center of the screen. Drive the perimeter, and every time you reach a corner or a curve, tap set point to drop a boundary point by hand. Placed a point in the wrong spot? Tap the undo arrow just below to remove the last point, or tap the trash icon to clear them all and start fresh. Want to abandon the recording entirely? Tap the red cancel button at the bottom of the panel, and the app discards the session without saving. When you've come all the way back to your starting point, tap Save Field. A dialog opens and asks you to name the field. Type a name, confirm, and the boundary is stored in the system. And that's how you map a new field in TerraSmart VERA. Next time you start a job, you'll be able to pick this field straight from the field selector on the dashboard, instead of tapping Start Without Field like we did earlier.